Hey everybody, we are back again for our last episode for the first season of In My Opinion. I'm just calling me CJ.
And I'm Mark. What's up? How y'all doing?
It's been a while since we've been on here, but today we're going to talk about just like New Year's resolutions and how do you execute those goals. I know like next week is New Year's, which is crazy because I can't imagine that we even got through 2021 this fast.
I mean, it was pretty quick. I'm not even gonna lie. It feels like it's still summer to me.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, what's going on? So, what you been doing?
I've been living the dream.
Oh, you been living the dream? Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it has been a while. Just work, life, everything catch up. So we've been a little inconsistent with this, but we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back.
Yeah, we that's our New Year's resolutions, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit more later. That we gotta get consistent with our show. So, New Year's resolutions. So last year we're gonna just talk about today like how to execute them and how to really like make a smart New Year's resolutions. Like a lot of people make these goals at the end of the year or all these things they want to do, and then like by the second week of January it's like, oh, it's not happening. I don't want to do it. I'm over it, and just like don't fall through on it.
Yeah. I mean, so when I was in college, because of my major sports management, we talked a lot about everybody's New Year's resolution is, oh, I want to lose weight. So a lot of like gyms would run a special.
Right.
Like, okay, from January, we're going to get all of these new people in, but they knew they're going to run it from like January to the middle of January. They're going to get everybody's money. And then by February, March, everybody knew that came in. They're not coming anymore because it's, and my thing is when I look at it, I don't like the term New Year's resolution. I'd rather go with the term goals because New Year's resolution is just kind of something that you don't like about yourself, so you're trying to change. But then when you look at it, a goal is something that's more so long term and how you get there, a short term thing. So like for me, let's say I have a 3 to 5 year goal to do whatever. So each year in that process of the 3 to 5 years until I reach that goal, I got to come up with smarter stuff in order to achieve that goal.
Okay. So, what was your goal for last year?
So, all right, and it's funny because I kind of forgot about some of my goals a little bit, but then earlier today I looked at it and I was like, oh wow, okay, like some of those things that I had written down, I was like, wow, I actually did some of this stuff. So one of the goals that I had was start a podcast. Obviously, me and you are now doing that. And what else? For my side business with Cleveland Browns, like expand that. So just a few weeks ago, we just went to Florida and then we pretty much just bought into a new franchise. So now we have another part of the business that we can help grow. So, and then I was thinking about it from years ago. I remember saying with your goals, you got to write it down because when you write it down, it's pretty much like, it's like law. And then on top of it, if you write it down, always have it with you. So within like the last 2 to 3 years, I write them down, then I put it on my phone because you travel everywhere with your phone. So now I got it. I can look back like, oh, okay. So today I looked back over the year like, oh, what were some of the goals that I had for 2021? And I was like, oh, wow, okay. So what about you? What were some of yours that you pretty much got?
That's so funny. So last year I had a couple different goals. Last year I wanted to complete my principal licensure. So I did that. I wrote that down.
What does that mean?
So I have a license to become a principal, in the state of Ohio. So that was one of my goals I wanted to accomplish, and the other one was like to get into a doctorate program, which I had done as well. I wanted to start a podcast, so me and you collabed on that.
Yep.
And my biggest goal, I would think that I really wanted to do last year, but I did not accomplish, is like save money. So my biggest thing is I'm like, man, like every time you get a new position, you get a raise. So when you get more money, it's like, oh, you get this mindset like I can save this, and then but you're still spending. And I'm like, dang, like I'm tired of spending money. Like I don't want to keep spending money on things that I don't want to do, and really focusing in on like things that I need versus things that I want.
Right.
And I didn't do a good job of that last year. Me and you kind of got a shoe fetish. And that's where it kind of breaks me down.
That's necessary, though. That is necessary.
It's necessary?
That's necessary.
Okay.
That is a need. No, I'm kidding. But, no, I feel you on that one. I feel like you said, I got a promotion at work as well, so we started making more money, and it's like, hey, we never had this much. My thing is, we see it on social media all the time. I'm going to make the money right back, so it really doesn't matter. But then we also got to think about tying it back into what we're talking about, long-term planning and goaling. So one of my goals, whether it be personal or like business and professional, I want to be able to own homes. So in order to be able to do that,
Sure.
you can't eat out every weekend. You can't buy every pair of Christmas J's and Yeezys that come out. And I haven't bought anything this holiday season. I want to so bad. I haven't bought. I feel like after this I may, but I haven't. But it's just all about
Good for
being.
you.
It's all about being disciplined and then planning and knowing what it is your end goal is, pretty much.
Okay. For sure, because like I definitely just bought them cool berries. And,
I saw them and I'm like, man.
yeah, I
this-
needed them. But all right, so you said about eating out. So for me, I know that one of my goals again was last year was to not eat out as much, which I think I did a great job at. So like I had this thing right Monday through Thursday, I'm gonna cook.
Mhm.
Like that is what I'm gonna do. Like every single day on Monday through Thursday, I'm cooking. Like I got my meal planned out. Even if I have to go to the store late, like I'm not gonna eat out. Huntington on your Huntington, if you have a Huntington account,
I do.
they will tell you like, hey, this is how much you spend. I was looking at my budget and listing, like just to be very like
I don't look at it.
transparent.
I don't look at it no more.
Man, I was
Stop.
spending $400 a week eating out.
Yep.
So I was like sick. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why are you spending this much money on food? You have food at home. You know how to cook. So I really think that I honed in on that goal. But in that process, the best way I think I did is I executed that goal
Right.
was planning for it.
Okay. So what was beyond just you doing like meal prep? Was, let's say it's a Wednesday, you had a long day at work and you were kind of tired of eating the same thing. Like, do you go ahead and eat it? Or do you be like, nah, might as well? Even though thinking about my long-term goal is I don't want to spend as much money on eating out, spending money on food and stuff. So how do you go about that when it's like middle of the week and you're just tired of it and you just want to buy that whatever?
So because I know myself, I don't like to eat the same stuff all the time. Even though I'm very like routine. I'm a routine person. Like I do the same stuff pretty much every day. Like get up at 5 in the morning, go work out, go meditate after that, shower, drive to work, stop at Starbucks, get my drink. The people at the Starbucks movie, they know me. They like, good morning, Constance. Go to work, leave work, go to practice. So I do the same stuff all the time. But my biggest thing that I know that I, when I was planning for these different things, I picked a day so I can mix and match. So even if I picked something that was very like basic, like just chicken, I know that, all right, I can sauce my chicken up. I can make wings. I can make chicken tacos. I can make chicken nachos. I can make a chicken quesadilla. I can make chicken Alfredo. So buying something that's very basic and then just kind of like you said, planning and having those things screenshot in my phone. Like, hey, I got these recipes off of Pinterest. So I know that I'm going to pick 5 recipes off of Pinterest and I'm going to mix and match that and just get a basic dynamic. And then even just like think about Wednesday is a good like day. I'm glad you get that day.
It's the middle of the week.
It's the middle of the week.
And it's like we too far from Monday, Tuesday, but we still not quite to the weekend.
Yeah. So Wednesday is a good day. I'm glad you like brought that up. Wednesday usually is kind of like my day where I leave and I go to Heinz and like I usually have like my $20 aside for that specific day and like, hey, this is the day like I'm just gonna get a rotisserie chicken.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go from there because you can do whatever with a rotisserie chicken. Like,
right.
Dang, that's serious right there.
So beyond just the just using your example as meal prepping, pretty much what you're saying is you're sticking to the goal
Yeah.
regardless, but then you're also giving yourself like a little bit of leeway and room to kind of go or do, because we are all human beings, and
For sure.
as much as we want to stay, all right, this is what I'm going to, and there are some people that can do that, and if you can do that, that's great. If you can,
discipline is a mud.
it is. If you can completely just stop eating out food every day, more power to you. But for some of us who can't always do that, who get a little weak and want to spend that money on that Chipotle, spend it on them shoes, spending on that, like, so you don't pretty much get down on yourself. What do? So let's say you did end up buying something from Chipotle or something.
So I heard you call it like you fall off the wagon.
Right.
I do what you call like SMART goals and margin of errors.
Okay.
So if you have a SMART goal, like the SMART goal is realistic. So when we setting goals for this new year, you gotta be realistic. I know like I talked to a lot of people. We're gonna just like stick with the weight thing. 'Cause that's like the biggest thing.
Right.
Oh well, I want to lose 50 pounds by March. That's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
That's
at all.
just not realistic.
And if you do it, it's not healthy either.
Yeah, and then the thing is, it's taking those steps. So like thinking about the plan of execution. So here's my goal.
Right.
And then I gotta think about how can I get to this goal. So example, like I said, I wanted to stop eating out so much. So here's my goal: not to eat out as much. What I would do is on Sunday, I'm going to get up and go to the grocery store. And even if I like, you know what, on Sunday I don't feel like going to the grocery store, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to use the app. You got Giant Eagle curbside. You can go grocery shopping on your phone. And that way I know, like, okay, I can spend my time in the grocery store. I can just go pick up the groceries. They're going to load up in my car. I can do it. So then from there, it's like, all right, so now I got my groceries. And then just thinking about what do I really want to do? What is my focus?
Right.
I'm not focusing just on like, hey, we want to save all this money by stopping groceries. Like, hey, this is a better life choice for me. Mm-hmm. It's better for me to cook my own food. It's better for me to prep my own food. It saves me less time of driving and sitting and being impatient because y'all know I call corporate when I get bad customer service. So it's really about that execution plan. It's like I'm not really thinking about the end goal. I'm thinking about how am I going to execute this? How am I going to put enough food or put enough stuff away for me to be like, okay, I'm okay. And even true, like buying snacks. Like if it's something I want to make at home, like Chipotle, I'm gonna buy the ingredients to make my own Chipotle. Now, is it gonna hit the same? Yes, because I can cook. But for everybody, it might not hit the same. But it's just like, okay, I'm getting what I want. But if you fall off that wagon, just give yourself a clear head and say, okay, I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna be disciplined enough to focus on this. All right, fill up for a week. Let me get right back on this horse and take a small step. So maybe you can't do 4 days. Like that is too much. You start off with a smaller, smart thing. For me, working out, because I'm a former college athlete. Like working out every day is like in me. And you got your degree in sports. In your brain, if you're an athlete, those endorphins and that dopamine is like that's your happiness. Like so, working out every single day is like my happiness. It makes me happy.
Yep.
But just being an adult, realistically, like working out every day just is not real for me. So just knowing like, okay, I went from working out. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 days a week and I'm gonna hoop with my kids at least once. So now I'm at 3. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna do 3 days a week and I'm gonna hoop once with the kids. So now I'm at 4. So then I've gotten to the point where I'm like working out 4 days a week. And I'm hooping with my kids in between those times as well. So now it's like, all right, I'm on a consistent pattern. I've got my routine. And that routine makes your life easier.
Yeah. So pretty much what we're talking about here is talking about making smart goals. And that's pretty much a, what you call it, an anonym?
Yes.
Right. There we go. So pretty much, and it's just being specific with whatever it is that you want to do. So if you want to lose weight, what are your specific goals? Like you said, okay, so 3 out of the 5 days that I'm at work, I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna do a meal plan or do this, and then what's measurable. So let's say I want to lose weight. Let's say you want to lose weight for a wedding or whatever. Instead of trying to get to that.
Summer body's over in the winter.
Anyway, so trying to get to that, you got to make sure that it's measurable. So instead of trying to lose 50, let's say you lose a healthy 10 to 15, and you're already on that process of doing it, and then make sure that it's achievable. Again, instead of trying to lose 50 pounds in like 2 months, which is not healthy, and I don't recommend fad diets at all because, again, that's not healthy. Just make sure it's achievable, and then make sure that it's relevant and time bound. So how long are you going to give yourself to lose that 10 pounds? If you're older and your metabolism doesn't work as fast, then give yourself a grace period of like 2 to 3 months. Like, don't get down on yourself if by January 1 you start working out and you don't really see the progress by February 1st.
Right.
You just got to give it time. Just give it time, and then make sure that, let's say your wedding's in April, you got plenty of time. So you may not lose or be at where you want to be at by then. You just want to make sure that it's realistic, it's measurable, and it's specific and all of that. So then saying that, that's just like more short-term goals. What are like some of your long-term goals, let's say like 3 to 5 years out? And for me, I always hated that. I hated when I was about to graduate, like, oh, so what's your 5-year plan? Because I'm laid back. I just want to go with the flow. So even me writing goals down, I really came a long way to be able to do this because it's like, man, whatever happens, happens, okay? Sometimes I just get in the car and I'm like, where am I going?
See, and that's the difference, I'm very like, I need plans. I plan everything. Like, from the time I wake up from what I'm going to wear to the time, like what time I'm eating.
Obviously, with your clothes, you got to do that.
I
Okay.
mean, you get what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, like, I'm a planner, so, like, going day by day stresses me out. Like, so I think that when you're setting a goal, just like you said, like, getting yourself a routine, making it realistic, making it measurable, making a smart goal, and just understanding that you will not be perfect. The example, I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to save money, I'm going to save money. Realistically, you got to look at your budget.
Right.
Because how are you planning to save money if you don't have this money coming in? You're going to put some money away. Because at the end of the day, you have bills.
Right.
And I'm a big person. I don't believe 2 jobs are for 2 people. Just because that's not it. 2 jobs. One job is for one person, and that's how that is. So if you're going to save money, just like look at your finances, your incomes. Like that's what we talk about. What are your needs versus your wants?
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, I need to do this. Like example, getting your hair done. Is that a need or a want?
For me, it was a need.
Okay, so it was a need. But
It's
I'm saying, so if you know how to like get a hairstyle, so you say, well, like for me, tomorrow I'm getting braids because at the end of the day, it's like, all right, I'm going to get my hair braided. That's going to last me for a couple months. That saves me some money
Mm-hmm.
instead of me going to the shop every 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Or then like for another example, like so that's putting me some money away, right? Because I go to shop every 2 weeks, I spend about $80 to $200. So that's a lot of money coming out. But I get some braids, I might spend this large amount up front, but then in the back of that, like I'm end up not spending as much money.
Yeah. So, I get that saving money long term, and then you just going about pretty much what it is. So then one of my 3 to 5 year goals was I don't want to, and I'm saying goals. I don't want to be working for nobody else.
For sure.
So how am I getting to that? So now within just I think it's about almost a year and a half now.
Okay.
We bought into this bounce house company that we now have.
Yeah.
So now with that, all right, so that's another source of income. How do we expand that? So now that instead of me working for somebody else, how is it that I can no longer do that? So I do that. Then I also come up with something else. So we start a podcast. And then what do you do with the podcast? So now you become more consistent with it, so you can grow it into something else, so it's not just a hobby. So I'm in, let's say 3 to 4 years, and I was saying maybe 2.5 years into that long-term goal. So I have these other things that I'm already setting up for, so that by that 5th year, we're already good to go. And that's not saying that it's going to take you the entire 5 years. You just need these goals to go. So each year, so 2021 was, let's expand on Cleveland Bouncers. Let's do this. Let's start a podcast and let's turn it into another source of income, so it's not just a hobby. So then going into one of my goals for 2022 is invest more money into the stock market and cryptocurrency. So then that way you can be making money while you're sleeping or doing this or that. So you got these other businesses that, like you said, going with the goal of being your own boss. You're doing all of this, but you're coming up each year. You're coming up with something new that you can then see a return on, and I think that's important.
Yeah, so one of my 3 to 5 year goals is, of course, like, so I'll be finished with my doctorate program in the next 1.5 years, maybe 2.
There's
Right.
a lot of school you've been through.
Yeah, I'm done. After this, I'm going back to school ever again.
At least you ain't got no student loans. So.
No, I don't have any student loans. So I want to have my own boarding school. So my goal is to have my own boarding school. And people are like, well, why didn't you just go and do it? It's because, like, I feel like I needed to be in a position of administration to get that experience to build my school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my goals. My goal was to get into admin. So now my other goal is to, we have a nonprofit, get a building donated, save some costs, get approved by the state. So just being measurable, because I think that a lot of times, like I said, back to the beginning of how we were talking, is that a lot of times we make these goals and they're just not realistic. They're not realistic in what we're trying to accomplish. And you gotta know yourself. Like, does this goal really match up and align with what you want to do?
Right. And on top of them not always being realistic, sometimes they're just kind of short-sighted.
Yeah.
So, all right, great. You not picking on you, but you want your summer body or whatever.
For sure.
But, okay, but for somebody else that needs a little bit more than just a summer body, because you can think about it like, what do I really need to do it for? I'm gonna get with who I'm gonna get with anyway, the way I look. But no, so I think sometimes for some people, you need to look at it like a bigger picture. All right, so the summer body is great, and that's just pretty much a outcome of what it is that you do. So then from long term, So like knowing you come from a family of certain health issues.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm creating a better, healthy lifestyle, which I think would be easier for you to accomplish and do long term if it is, hey, I want to create a healthier lifestyle because I know that so and so in my family had this issue, so and so in my family had that issue. So what I want to do is, like you said, not eat out as much, meal prep, work out, but I'm doing it so that overall for me, I can feel better as a whole. You know?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm joking with the summer body, of course,
No,
but
you're serious, but go ahead.
halfway. But no, like for me, like I have bad knees.
Right?
So like working out, I have to work out because
Yeah.
I need to not be as heavy because I have 2 torn ACLs. So working out is
Somebody must have crossed you back.
nobody
Go ahead.
crossed me. That's not what happened. You know that's not what
I
happened.
don't know what happened. I wasn't there when you
No.
tore both of them.
That's not what happened.
Okay.
So for me, it's like I need to work out and make sure that I keep this weight off because like women hold all their weight in their knees, and it's more likely you're in prone that you will get hurt through a knee injury because you held the weight there. So working out for me, like you said, it's a long term goal, but I think of it as a lifestyle change.
Right. Right. So a complete lifestyle changes, I would say, is kind of easier because if it's just a summer body, you'd be like, oh, whatever. Yeah, summer weight or whatever. It's easier for you to keep putting it off. So let's say, because we go on vacation every year, right?
Yeah.
So let's say we go with the mindset, we're going on vacation in July, like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then in your mind, you're like, I'm going to start in January. Then you don't start in January. Well, I'll just wait till February. Well, I'll just wait till March. And then you start kind of making yourself feel better in your mind because you're like, oh, well, I only really need a month, so I can start in June and be good by then.
So how do you get away from that? Because don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a time when we went to the Bahamas. I think that was the heaviest I ever been. I just had my knee surgery.
Somebody cross you up again.
No, that's not what happened. That's not. But you know, when we went to the Bahamas, was that 2019?
Yes.
Ooh, dang.
It was. It's been a while.
Wow.
It
Okay.
was.
So we went to the Bahamas in 2019, and I tore my ACL in that January, but I didn't have surgery until that June. And I didn't do well on my eating, so I had got real heavy. I was like, I probably was like 230 to be honest with you. I got the heaviest I ever been in my whole life. And I kept putting it off, like, oh, I could just eat a little bit of this. I could just eat a little bit of the bread. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. Like, oh, well, I burnt this many calories, so I think I could be okay with that. So how do you stay disciplined and consistent?
You just got to go. So, like, actually, the one thing that I wrote down was you just got to be consistent and do a little bit at a time. So, you know, you got to use the analogy. You got to crawl before you walk, walk before you run before you fly, do all of that. So you pretty much just got to do a little at a time. And then I think for some people, I don't know about other people, but at least for me, and I know there are other people like this, I say I want to do something in my mind, and then I kind of think about it. I'm very internal, so I think a lot. So if we're not on the podcast or whatever, if we just out, I'm kind of back to myself, and I'm always thinking.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, I sort of chill a lot, right? That's
Yeah,
what y'all call me.
Chef
But no, so I do that. But for me, it's like if I just let something stay on me, in me, I'm gonna get really annoyed until I get it done.
Right.
So for some people that may not work, but for me, if I say, all right, this is what I need to do. So like right now, one of my other goals for 2021, and we getting down to the end, I want to buy a new car. So in me because the car that I have now, it was my first car I bought, it's time to go ahead and let her go.
It is.
Time to let her.
I'm glad that you're doing that.
Come on, man. I got to hear it from you. Got to hear it from my mama. I got to hear it from everybody.
I'm so glad you're doing that.
All right, whatever. But no, so for me, and then, so like that, it just kind of asked me, it's like, all right, this is what I need to do, and I need to stop overthinking it, and let's just get it done.
Yeah.
Because then for me, internally, I'm going to get annoyed and agitated until I actually get do what it is that I need to do. So like for you, how do you do it? Because me, I'm going to do a little as I can, and then I know inside of me is going to be like, all right, I'm going to kick myself like, let's go, let's get it done.
So I got 3 things. One is I prep.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of times we go into these goals, but you're not prepping yourself to finish these goals. So I prep, like you said, the eating. Like I'm going to the grocery store, so I know I have food at home. So it's not like, oh, well, I don't have nothing to eat. I might as well just go to the Chipotle or Chick-fil-A or something like that. No, I'm going to prep first. 2, accountability. For me, like I have my group, Nothing But Brunch. So we have a group where we like.
Oh, you got a That's a group. I thought y'all was just kicking it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a girl. You'll see some more of that. Shout out to Nothing But Brunch. We got some big teams coming for y'all.
Oh.
But Nothing But Brunch, like I was texting them. I'm like, man, I really need to start getting up. It's hard for me to get up and do these workouts. Like, so I know like Bettina, Brittany, and Coco, and then when they were like posting their workout videos or even on my watch, and I seen them working out, I was like, oh, I want to work out. Like, I see that they're getting to it. I'm very competitive. So we started like, okay, boom, we're going to post this. We're going to be accountable. We're going to make sure we hold you accountable. Bettina was like, yesterday, she like, what you doing? I'm like, I'm serious. What you about to do? I'm about to go to the gym. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm getting up. So even her just saying, like, I'm about to go to the gym made me be like, oh, girl, you need to go to the gym as well. Like, let's get it going. So I think, like, having people to hold you accountable, prepping, and then giving yourself a reward. I think we don't talk about, like, even when you have small victories, give yourself a reward. So, hey, I went to the gym yesterday. I hooped a little bit yesterday, and then today I didn't go. But tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, I'll be in the gym. So once I accomplish that, I'm going to give myself a little reward. Like, hey, I did 4 out of the week. Or, like, I get a thing on your watch that say, oh, you closed all your rings. And, like, that brings me joy.
Right.
So finding like a small reward that doesn't take you off task but still bring you joy and brings you your reward.
Right, so don't go buy another pair of Cool Grays.
Now I'm getting a pair of one, but that's a different story.
Didn't I take you off your other goal?
Who?
You wanted to say
That's
more money.
I said yeah. I said in
a
January.
small reward.
Yeah, in January it's going to take me, but that's on the 30th when it'll come out, so I'm good.
Okay, all right, but no, I feel it. So for me, I need the internal, to kind of tell myself, all right, let's get it done. Now, for you, that may how you have your friends text you or whatever. For me, that's not gonna work. Like, good for you. I don't care what you're doing. Leave me alone.
You are the Grinch.
I'm not the Grinch at all. Because for a fact, if Art, Mr. Denzel, Avery, Khalid, if they text me like, oh, I'm going to the gym, I'm like, all right, text me when y'all done. I'm about to,
That'll make you feel that way.
No, it doesn't make me feel that type of way at all. But for me, it's like, you probably should have went to the gym. And then I'm like, all right, here we go. All right, I'm getting ready to go do it. So it's all about knowing yourself as a person. You got to grow, know yourself as a person, know what your goals are, and like you said, be realistic with it. If you need people to keep you accountable, then make yourself accountable. If you need to motivate yourself, write like little notes or whatever that say, hey, do this or do that. Like I know a girl that I work with, she don't like waking up in the morning either, but she sets a whole bunch of alarms. And one alarm says one thing. So the next one means this. And pretty much it's just, she's motivating herself to get up. And it's like, I think one of them she said was like, all right, seriously, get up. Because if you don't get up, then now you're not going to be able to eat breakfast. And you're going to be running late. And you're going to be this and you're going to be that.
That reminds me of Big Daddy when he like wanted to get up early to go to the McDonald's breakfast. Remember that movie? No? Okay.
I do remember the movie. And it was great. But now McDonald's don't even offer breakfast all day anymore. I'm not eating it either. I had it a few weeks ago and I felt disgusting. And the food was disgusting too.
Yeah.
But all right, I digress. But yes, it's all about what it is that you can do. Be realistic with yourself. Be realistic, work with yourself, and then, you're going to get there. Just give yourself a little bit of grace.
All right. Well, thank y'all. This is our last episode for season 1. Thank you for everybody joining. If you didn't catch us on live, you can see our link in the bio of my Instagram, on YouTube, in my opinion, for our channel. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with some better topics as well as a longer time.
All right.
See ya.